I'm really excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I want the games to be good, so here are the 10 things that I hope are in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Number 10. The return of characters from previous games. By now, most of us know that many of the Pokemon games are connected and are in the same world, and seeing characters from different regions reappear in Johto and Sinnoh is a fine example of that connected world. So it'd be cool if characters from older games return to Sun and Moon, as it would give them a chance to continue their story arc and grow as characters. I personally want Cyrus and Cynthia to return because their characteristics could match really well with the themes of Pokemon Sun and Moon. And from our last encounter with Cyrus, we learned that he wanted to find the knowledge of the Pokemon world beyond time and space, so that he could create his perfect world, and it'll be cool if we get to see if Cyrus achieved his goal or not in Sun and Moon. Number 9. The return of Match Call. The Match Call, which was introduced in Pokemon Emerald, was a really cool feature that you can use to talk to trainers that you already battle, and even get the option to rebattle them multiple times. This feature made the game world feel alive because it kept you connected with trainers that you encountered throughout your journey. You feel like these NPCs are your friends because they give you status updates every now and then, and even challenge you for rematches with stronger Pokemon. And from these encounters you have with them, you can tell that they are growing as a trainer just like you. Now the cell phone feature from the Johto games also had a similar function, so either the cell phone feature or Match Call, any of these two reappearing in Pokemon Sun and Moon would be great. Number 8. A good rival. In my Evolution of Silver video, I talked about why Blue, Silver, and Barry are good rivals. And the example I gave as to why Blue is a good rival is that he's always one step ahead of you. He gets the starter Pokemon that has the advantage, he gets all the gym badges ahead of you, and he becomes the champion of Kanto before you. Blue is a challenge for the player, and it makes you want to be a better trainer, just so that you could surpass him. And I hope Pokemon Sun and Moon introduce a rival that can reach the same caliber as Blue, or even Silver or Barry. Pokemon Sun and Moon's rival should be someone who's strong, someone who's ambitious, and someone whose inclusion adds to the story and is not just there as a bullet point. Number 7. Underwater Exploration. Using Dive for the first time in Pokemon Emerald was one of the coolest moments in that game, and finding and exploring those underwater areas just added a new layer to the overall experience. And unlike most HMs, Dive was important to the storyline, such as using Dive to get to Team Aqua's stolen submarine or to get to the mythical city of Sootopolis, and using Dive to get to those places actually made sense. But the most standout moment of using Dive was using it to find legendary Pokemon, such as the Regis. Using Dive to get to the sealed chamber so that you could wake up the legendary Pokemon was just mind-blowing. And I hope Game Freak could give us those experiences once again in a new way with Pokemon Sun and Moon, by including Dive and underwater exploration in those games. Number 6. More Fire-type Pokemon. After Red and Blue, every time I start a Pokemon game, I feel like I'm being punished for not picking the Fire-type starter Pokemon. Because A, the Fire-type starters are always cool looking, and B, there's almost never any good Fire-type Pokemon in the early parts of the games. So if you didn't pick the Fire-type starter, there's a good chance you will not have a Fire-type Pokemon until halfway through the game. And if you do find a Fire-type, most of the time, they're not even that good. This was a big problem for me in the Hoenn and Sinnoh games, because I picked Trico and Piplup, and ended up having no Fire-type Pokemon in my party. Now X and Y fix this a bit by giving the player Fletchling early on in the game, and I hope Pokemon Sun and Moon does something similar by giving the player a new Fire-type Pokemon early in the game, and hopefully the Fire-type Pokemon has a 3-stage evolution. Number 5. Good side activities. Now sometimes as a trainer you need a break from just battling all the time, and having good side activities is a great way to get that break. I think the Pokemon contest from Hoenn and Sinnoh was a great feature, and if that could return in the new games, then it would be great. And with the Pokemon contest, the value of berries will increase as well, because the berries will have more uses than just another healing item, and collecting and planting berries in and of itself is a good side activity. Now if the Pokemon contest does return, I want the contest to be like how it is in the anime, where the Pokemon moves have these different yet beautiful animations. So the Pokemon contest or something like the Pokemon contest could be a good thing for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Number 4. A powerful climax. A climax is where all the cool stuff happens in a game, and a powerful climax is a thing that you will remember for years. I still get goosebumps thinking about the climax in Pokemon Emerald, where Groudon was fighting Kyogre and how it changed the environment with natural disasters. I remember running around Hoenn trying to find the Sky Pillar so that Rayquaza could stop the destruction. Another good example of a powerful climax was the Distortion World section in Pokemon Platinum. Traversing through the Distortion World and meeting the origin form of Giratina was a really cool moment. So I hope Pokemon Sun and Moon gives us a powerful climax just like Pokemon Emerald and Platinum, and hopefully I'll remember and talk about that climax for many years. Number 3. Bring back the Battle Frontier. In my top 5 hopes for Pokemon X and Y, I explained why I like the Battle Frontier so much, and because X and Y didn't have the Battle Frontier, I didn't have the desire to beat that game. I was afraid that if I beat the Pokemon League, there would be nothing else for me to do in that game, so I ended up not continuing my journey in Kalos. The Battle Frontier is where I spend most of my time in any Pokemon games. I was trying to collect all the symbols, trying to battle all the powerful Frontier Brains, and even discover all the hidden secrets within. These are the things that I miss the most from any Pokemon games, and I really want it back in the modern games. Out of everything on this list, seeing the Battle Frontier back in Pokemon Sun and Moon will probably bring me the most joy. Number 2. Differences between the games. Ever since the original Red and Blue, the main series Pokemon games only had few differences between the pair games, and those differences are usually version-exclusive Pokemon. And then we got Ruby and Sapphire that broke that tradition with version-exclusive evil teams, and because of that, you had more reasons to own both copies other than just trying to get them for collecting all the Pokemon. Now, I don't think Sun and Moon should go that far as having exclusive teams, unless it makes sense with the theme of the games, just like it did with the Hoenn games. But I do want the new games to have different content, similar to the Black City and White Forest from the Unova games. And if not that, the games could have exclusive missions, battle areas, or even mysteries that you need both games to solve. I think having exclusive content for Sun and Moon could be a good thing for the games. Number 1. Legends and History. The Pokemon games are fun, but it's the legends and history that make me come back to the games over and over, and learning about the legends and history of Pokemon such as Dialga, Palkia, and Arceus is what makes the Pokemon world so great. And thanks to Arceus and the Creation Trio, the Pokemon universe has opened up to limitless possibilities, and now with Pokemon Sun and Moon, we may discover the secrets of outer space within the Pokemon universe. And if Sun and Moon does tackle the themes of astronomy, then Pokemon could introduce some really interesting stuff to its history and mythology, such as the idea of dark energy, multiple universes, or the scary prediction of how the universe can stop expanding and collapse in on itself. There are a lot of things that Game Freak could do with legends and history in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and hopefully the things that I said turns out to be true in those games. So what do you want from Pokemon Sun and Moon? Let me know in the comments below, and if you agree with anything I said, then make sure to like and share this video. Alright, that is all for this video. I'll be back with another video soon, so stay tuned.